You feel pressure to put money towards ideas and investments that you might not fully understand or be committed to because it seems like that's working for other people. But how do you know if those ideas are right fit for you in your wealth creation journey? Let me say that again. Wealth creation journey. You see, creating wealth is not a strategy. It's not an investment. It's not a specific amount of money. Wealth creation is a life journey that aligns what you work for with what you care about. Your wealth is a reflection of what you care about, what you value. And so in order to begin your wealth creation journey, the first step is to determine what you value. What are your values? Have you ever asked yourself that question? No financial plan, no investment strategy, no money-making idea is going to change your life or your circumstances unless it is directly aligned with your values. Let me put it another way. How you make your money and how you live your life must be in direct connection with one another to create wealth. You have to live wealth. You have to understand wealth. You have to walk in wealth. Now, before I get too deep, let me just take a step back and introduce myself to you so you know who I am and you know what I'm about. Not so much my credentials, even though I'm a certified financial planner, a certified exit planning advisor. I hold my Series 7, 66 in life, health, and accident licenses. I have a law degree from South Texas College of Law, an undergraduate in business from Loyola University in New Orleans. I have over 20 years in wealth management. I'm a published author, and I developed an online sales training for minority sales professionals and entrepreneurs. None of that's important right now. I'm not coming to you in any of those capacities. What's important is that I'm a late 70s baby born in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you're from New Orleans, you know that you can be in one of the richest neighborhoods and drive 3 blocks in any direction and wind up in one of the poorest neighborhoods. And so the wealth disparity is right in front of our eyes on a daily basis. I was born after civil rights, but before the internet, right at the birth of the hip hop era in the midst of the crack epidemic. When I was born, microwaves didn't exist. I was around for the birth of the cassette, the VCR, cable TV, music videos, video games, CDs, cell phones, DVDs, email, MP3 players, Blackberries, and iPhones. Many people in the generation before me lived through Jim Crow. And many people in the generation after me never experienced racism a day in their life. And so my generation is the link between insurmountable obstacles and unlimited opportunity. The world has grown right in front of our eyes. I've heard the wisdom from my elders whose backs we climbed on to succeed. But I've also seen what's possible from our youth when we empower them with resources and confidence. And so my goal, my mission, my hope with walking in wealth is to challenge the mindset born out of limitation and impregnate it with a mindset of limitless possibilities. And so again, welcome to Walking in Wealth, and I'm your host, JD Garnier. Once again, if you're not following me on social media, please follow me on Instagram at GarnierJD, Facebook at JD Garnier, and Twitter at JD Garnier1. Now, more important than anything that I just said about myself and who I am is who are you? Who are you and where are you in your wealth creation journey? Are your values aligned with your labor? Is what you care about and how you live connected to one another? Are you happy with where you are financially? Do you have regrets? Opportunities that you missed out on? bad financial decisions, lost money that you'll never get back? Well, guess what? We all have lost money. All of us has made bad financial decisions. When were we ever taught to make good financial decisions? Everything that we see encourages us to make bad financial decisions. Buy this, invest in this, try this. Even wealthy people have made dozens of bad financial decisions. And so we have to understand and recognize that it's on us, and nothing is stopping us from changing those decisions. You are in a position more than ever now to take control of your financial life and align yourself with wealth. Now, in order for us to walk in wealth, the first thing we need to do is define wealth. So many times I think people conflate or confuse being rich with being wealthy. But they're actually two different things, two completely different things. You see, being rich is when you accumulate resources and money. Rich is the accumulation of resources and money. But wealth is the relationship between time and money. Let me make it clear. You can be so good at your job that someone is willing to pay you $1 million a year and you can get rich. You could start a business and it be so profitable that you can make $1 million a year in profit and you can get rich. But as long as your income is tied to your labor, you can't get wealthy. Because that income dies when your labor dies. Once your income becomes independent of your time, that is when you build wealth. Once an increase in your money does not require an increase in your time, that is how you build wealth. And so if you're trying to build wealth, you have to figure out how to separate your time from your money. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done, or everybody will be wealthy. But it is not beyond your capability to do so. And just like you can be rich without being wealthy, if you're making $1 million a year, but you're working 80 hours a week, you can get rich, but you can't build wealth like that. But you can also be wealthy without having to be rich. I said earlier, wealth is not a specific amount of money. It is an alignment between your labor and your values. And so I'm guessing if you're listening to this and you're working 40 hours a week on a full-time job and you're making decent enough money, but it's just enough to go towards paying for your responsibilities and your obligations, you're probably thinking to yourself, I just don't see it. I don't see how I can come out of this situation and make my money independent of my time. I don't have time. But I said a few minutes ago that your wealth creation journey begins with aligning how you make your money with how you live your life. And so if your current circumstances are not creating wealth, you're going to have to make some changes. And over the course of this show, we're going to talk about what those changes look like step by step for your life. Because alignment takes time. There's not just one strategy. There's not just one idea. There's not just one fix that's going to change your financial circumstances. You have to strategically position yourself in your life to create wealth. And there are 5 ways to build wealth. Let's talk about them. 5 ways to build wealth. Over the course of the show, we're going to address all 5. We're going to talk about ideas. We're going to talk about strategies. We're going to talk about specific things that you can do in each of these to enhance and improve your circumstances. But there's essentially 5 ways. Inheritance, investment, incorporation, integration, and innovation. Let me repeat them. Inheritance, investment, incorporation, integration, and innovation. Inheritance is easy. How easy would your life be if you inherited a couple $100,000? What position would you be in if you inherited some real estate and some stocks and some assets? How would that change your circumstances? That's why generational wealth is so important. The Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. We have to be thinking about our legacy beyond ourselves. That's the easiest way to generate wealth. Think about how forward or progressive your children's lives would be with an inheritance. It's the easiest way to build wealth. The next is investment. Taking your earnings or your money and buying assets or things that appreciate in value. When you buy assets, when you buy things like real estate or stocks or businesses, when you own those things appreciate in value without the requirement of your labor. When you own assets and they increase in value, that does not require your labor. So that is a separation of your time and your money. That's how you build wealth. The third is incorporation. Creating a business separate and apart from yourself that adds value and generates income and profit. When you can create an entity that is valuable enough to generate income and a profit, that's a wealth builder. The next is integration. Now that can be both on the business and personal side. On the business side, integrating your business or insulating it enough to where you can increase your profit. Vertically integrating. We're going to talk about that. Personally, integrating yourself in your life or your profession so that you can become so valuable at what you do that people are willing to pay you a premium. You have to integrate yourself, insulate yourself from make yourself recession proof. And then lastly, innovation. When you innovate, when you invent something, when you create something that's never been done before, you can create wealth in that manner. Now that's difficult to do, but innovation is a wealth builder. And so we're going to talk about all of these things in Walking in Wealth, as well as talk about some specific financial topics like investing, credit, life insurance, business, estate planning, and much, 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 much more. So today I know I gave you some ideas, some different concepts, some different topics, and hopefully they made you think. But now I want to give you some first steps. Walking in Wealth is about personal accountability and responsibility. And you can't change your financial circumstances waiting for someone else to provide solutions. Things like a better credit score or a high investment return are not suddenly going to make your things better if you don't change your mindset. And so over the next week, I want you to ask yourself two questions. And these two questions are priceless because they're not going to cost you anything. But when you can answer them, they're going to mean everything to you. And once you know the answer to these two questions, you can start the process of changing things about your financial circumstances. The first question: what can I do that doesn't cost anything that can improve my life and my financial circumstances? Let me repeat that. What can I do that doesn't cost a thing that can improve my life and my financial circumstances? Can I spend less money? Yeah, I can spend less money. Can I sign up for that company's retirement plan that I've been putting off for months because I haven't taken time to do it? Yeah, I can do that. Can I read a book on finance every night? Yeah, you can do that. Can I wake up earlier to get more things done? Can I set a budget for myself? Can I commit to saving a specific amount of money every month? Can I read the fine print on my bank accounts and my insurance policies so I can understand what I own? Just take some time and think about what you can do for free to better your financial situation now. What do you control? See, this is easy because it doesn't require you to completely blow up your life. It doesn't force you to wait on somebody else. If you can't change the little things about your life, you're not ready for the big things. So again, ask yourself, what can you do that doesn't cost anything that can improve your life and your financial circumstances today? Right now. What can you read? What can you change? What can you shift right now? Second question. Who do I know that can improve my life and my financial circumstances? Relatives, friends, leaders, professionals. Who do you know that can add value to your life? Now, I'm not talking about going asking people for money. I'm talking about surrounding yourself with wisdom. Who do you already have access to that can improve your circumstances and your situations? Think about all the relationships that you have. Who do you know that is in a position to add value to your life? You can go to the bank and sit down with your banker and ask them questions about banking, about credit, about your accounts, and just learn. What about that cousin that you always looked up to that you think is doing well for themselves? What questions can you ask them to improve your circumstances? Who do you know that's in a position that you admire or look up to, that you can connect yourself with, that you can gain wisdom from? You see, change is all around us. All of the resources that we need are available to you. You just have to make use of them. And so again, what can I do that doesn't cost anything that can improve my life and my financial circumstances? And who do I know that can improve my life and my financial circumstances? I want you to think about that. I want you to consider what you value. What are your values? What is important to you? Do you want to be rich? Or do you just want to be financially independent? Do you want to be a business owner? Or do you just want to be able to put yourself in a position to take care of your family? What's important to you? That's going to be different for everybody because everyone's wealth creation journey is different. So I want you to think about it. I want you to contemplate it. I want you to envision what you want for yourself because that's going to determine the actions that you take. And over the course of this show, we're going to talk about a number of topics. We're going to break down math and statistics and compound interest and understand investing. We're going to talk about strategy and how to position your assets properly so that you can think about the next generation and you can protect yourself. We're going to talk about simple things like budgeting and changing your habits. We're going to talk about building wealth and ideas on doing that, whether it's home ownership or investing or growing a business. But before we get into any of that, you have to think about what you value, what you care about. Not what everyone else says you should do, not what people say you should invest in, but what is right for you in your wealth creation journey. And so until next time, I want you to remember this. What you want will always be a fantasy until how to live it becomes your reality. Thank you for tuning in to Walking in Wealth. Until next time, keep moving forward on your wealth creation journey. And I can't wait to walk it with you. Walking in Wealth.